Hey, what's
Yeah,
up?
we got Chris here. All right. So
Cheers, Chris. Come on in, man.
there we go. How's it going, Chris?
It's going good, guys. So sorry for the delay.
Oh, you're good.
Hey, no worries, man. We're hanging
You're
out.
a busy man.
Yeah. I'm glad I could make
Go ahead
it
and
up. This is
just,
cool.
yeah, man, we're glad to have you. Go ahead and just, if you don't mind, give us a little bit of backstory on who you are and where you come from and what do you do?
Yeah. So my name is Chris Vinci, and I am a mushroom educator and a mushroom cultivation instructor. And I am also a micropreneur. I own several businesses in the mushroom cultivation and mycology space, as well as I run a nonprofit that is a mycology based therapeutic modality program. So, um, through that work, I teach individuals to cultivate mushrooms using sustainable practices, as well as just general cultivation instruction using the common cultivation supplies that you see on the market. Um, but I got into this because I used to suffer from a severe drug addiction. I was a heroin addict,
Okay.
by all means, there was no real hope or positive outlook I had until I tried mushrooms. And then, it's funny, I had tried psychedelic mushrooms in my youth, but when you use them in your youth, you're using them at a different point in your life for a different purpose. And then when I came around to it later in my life, it became apparent that it was everything I needed to set myself, and that's exactly what it did. And so the minute I kind of was able to come out of that addiction, I said, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure other people know that this stuff works and that they can grow it. And so, yeah, back when I started growing, I mean, it was 20 years ago. 39. I started when I was 19. So I used to have to order spores online from Sporeworks, and it would come in the mail. And Western Union, I'd have to pay with. It would take weeks, and there were no grow kits. You had to use spores and read books and figure it out the old school way. So now it's nice to be able to teach people.
100%. And that's why we're glad to have you on here because people like you are the people we need to get together to be able to try to, spread the fire, if you will. Because it's just like you said, the knowledge is there. And a lot of times people won't even know that the knowledge is there until somebody like you gets on a show and says, hey, like it's easy to do. And then here's how you do it. You don't need $100 million to be able to do this. You don't need the best equipment and the best situation. You just need basic equipment because they come from nature. And yeah, you're trying to replicate nature, so there's a lot of nuance that goes in with that. But at the same time, it's still very much possible to do. There's so much information going on, this kind of stuff. You talked about this just a minute ago. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying, yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, setting the fire, letting
Yeah,
everybody know that this is something that is practical. Everybody's discouraged when it comes to trying mushroom cultivation because, from what I've understood from my experience, is that almost everyone I've talked to who has tried this on their own has either had limited or no success on the first attempt. And with the economy the way it is, I pride myself on my grow products come with the guarantee that your experience is going to be a good one. Now, I cannot obviously guarantee that there will never be contaminations, but anybody who uses my products, they use it based on the instructions, and they call me and they say, Chris, I tried my best. I did what you said, and this thing contaminated. I don't know what's going on. I give them a lesson and I replace the bag because once they're growing their own medicine, their life is going to change. And I know they're going to come back and support after that.
yeah, it gives them hope and confidence to encouragement to keep doing it for sure.
Exactly, exactly. And that's kind of where the market is lacking online now. And it's getting better now with all the more local providers and people getting into the space like you guys that are interested in space for the right reasons. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a whole nother ball game cultivating now than it was back then. But I also teach 8 cultivation workshops at the university. So I founded the University of Colorado Mycological Society. So
This is very cool, man.
yeah, and through that we do field mycology, and Dimitri and I work together to educate college students and individuals from the community and stuff on how to find new passion and getting connected with nature and finding a way to give back to science when you don't need to be a scientist.
Very true. I love it. And then we were just checking out your website a little bit before you got here, and that's very much the premise of your website. That you were saying that learn from nature. It's what we've gotten away from, and we talk about this a lot on the show. We need to get back to our roots, not to abandon modern day technologies and sciences that we have, but to get back to our roots and combine them together. And that's when the power really starts to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's the reason why we talk about following the 4 agreements, because you talked about how mushrooms were just a party drug for you, essentially. And I've talked about this before on the show as well, how, I was doing mushrooms for a while and they were bringing me enlightenment and joy, but they weren't enlightening my life. It's because I had no protocol to follow. And this is why we practice the 4/5 agreements, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yes.
Because it gives us something to take these mushrooms and then follow the protocol. Because whether you do mushrooms or whether you don't do them, it's important to have a protocol to follow. Even is what our episode was about today, about how, you got to condition yourself out of these thought patterns and, cycles of thinking. So if you're thinking, oh, I failed, I'll never be able to grow this mushroom, all you need, again, is encouragement or advice and help to be able to show you can do this. My personal experience growing mushrooms, I got pretty lucky and I was successful in my first grow. And then I had a bunch of unsuccessful grows after that. But having people like Nerdy around to be able to help me through those grows was the benefit that I needed, because Nerdy was the reason why he's helping me, is because he went through the same thing. He went through a guy that was supposed to try to help him and he tried to get help, and then he was left hanging. Like, as long as you buy my product, I don't really care about your help or your success. And this is something that you really showed that you care about, how people are going to get a successful grow or not. And if they're not, then what are your variables? Your temperature, your humidity, or on and on. Trying to create nature is really hard to do, but we can do it. We've been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah, that's great. What do you guys have experience growing yourselves, each of you as well?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, great.
Nerdy's Nerdy's actually never grown, but he's the one who gives advice. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but early on, it felt really defeating. Like I was, I tried mushrooms and they really helped me. So I started trying to grow. And this was years ago. And then I go online and I buy an all-in-one bag, and then I get contam. But then I go to grab the other all-in-one bag, and before I even try to knock it, it's contam. So you can start off defeated, and then get discouraged. But if you got a solid group of people that are there to guide you and say, hey man, and help you out and show you the way, very, very awesome to get into.
Yeah, that's the whole concept behind the Colorado Myco League and the Pikes Peak Myco League. And these organizations are honestly the 2 organizations at the forefront of leading community-based cultivation and mycology. Because really, aside from those 2 organizations, we have mycological societies. And the mycological society model is just not inviting to individuals who would perceive it as some sort of an intellectual club, or a club where you have to know how to identify mushrooms or what is exactly happening. With the Colorado Myco League, with the Pikes Peak Myco League, we're taking in people, just like you said, who have never tried, or who have tried and are so frustrated, but if they don't get access to the information and the support they need to go down this road, they'll never be able to use fungi to improve their futures. Because why wouldn't we as humans immediately default to getting a pharmaceutical if we can't get the natural medicine that we're trying to get in any sort of a reasonable or practical manner?
And the message it's more genuine coming from somebody like you who's had a history of drug use, and then the mushrooms kind of helped you go through this. You actually do help with vets as well. Is that true?
Yeah. So my nonprofit Operation CAPS is a mycology-based therapeutic modality program. And what that means is it serves as an alternative to clinical therapy. So talk therapy, traditional therapies like that. This program has many different facets, but the main facets are mushroom cultivation for gourmet, medicinal, and psychedelic mushrooms, And what that means is we have a subscription-based model that we're launching here soon. And that model will basically include certain tiers for veterans, and these veterans, as well as other people in the community. So we don't just treat veterans. We also service regular community members, because we do believe that community can't be well if community is not well, right? We can't have the veteran population well if their brothers and sisters who aren't vets are not well. So
I love that mindset.
Yeah. So what we do is basically we reconnect people with the land. We take them foraging. We give them new passions, new directions. We teach them about the mushrooms locally. And we also get them growing mushrooms in some capacity, whether that be gourmet mushrooms for fun or for food, or whether it be reishi mushrooms for health, or turkey tail for their inflammation, or in many cases, obviously 21 and up people for psychedelic mushrooms. And a lot of what we do is similar to the Myco League in the sense that we don't ever set someone up to cultivate their own psychedelic medicine without making sure that they're aware of the realities of consuming these things.
Very much. And that's a big thing we like to try to focus on here too, because people are, and a good point you make about how gourmet mushrooms are a good introduction, because they learn to teach you about the respect of the mushroom, how to respect it before you get the enjoyment out of it. So, and it also helps you learn how to learn and get your feet wet, because some of these gourmet mushrooms are a little bit easier, more forgiving, if you will, to grow than
absolutely
psychedelic strains.
They are. And that's like, that is the entire concept behind Operation Caps, is basically we give people a new outlet. We give them a support system for that outlet, and that outlet is mycology. So whether it's getting them out into the woods to reconnect them with their families in a group activity that involves mycology, that is just something that people who never experience field mycology or go mushroom hunting, it's magical. When you get out there in the forest and you really are in the mushrooms, it's something that is really just, it's a shame that everyone won't get a chance to do it.
It opens their eyes and gives them perspective. We were just talking about this earlier in the show, because I'm out here in Colorado visiting for a little while, which I might come check you out, my man.
Yeah.
Here in a couple of days or something, we'll see. But yeah, coming out here and opening your mind and getting perspective, it gives you purpose. Opening your eyes, seeing what the world's really about, and opening up. When you go out there in nature and realize how many mushrooms are out there, how beneficial they are for all these different things, whether it be for in the environment around us, for protecting the animals and plants and stuff, or, giving us medicine, or, enlightenment, if you will. There's all these different things that are really super important. Also, I should mention to you, we dropped your link in the chat, and we're going to put your link in the description as well, so people can find you.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I think there's a question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. I've been growing for a little while now, and the one thing they've taught me was patience. Obviously, something that I needed, and I'm thankful for its healing powers. Very much. Mushrooms teach you so much: cleanliness and patience and timing and respect.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, it's very important.
And one of the best things about cultivating mushrooms for me is, yes, obviously your medicine that you grow is great, but really for me, and that's why I believe in the Operation Caps program, is the art and the act of cultivating these mushrooms, connecting with these mushrooms, learning to give them what they need and to receive what you need. Yeah, that alone. I mean, if growing a house plant would be considered cathartic for some, then growing mushrooms is like a revolution.
You make a great point, though, because especially for me, I grew up my whole life growing plants. So when I tried to do mushrooms, it's the reason why I failed so hard, is because I was trying to equate it with growing a plant. And I think a lot of people are trying to do that. And this is totally, mushrooms are more like people than plants, right? So it's going to be a totally different environment that they grow from.
Yep. And we're learning, we're just scratching the surface of what these mushrooms truly mean to the human race and to the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Because right now they're
Fantastic Fungi is a great documentary that speaks about this. Sorry to speak over you, but
no, that's okay. Yeah. Actually, Eugenia Bone is a co-star of that film, and she's a psychedelic author, and a scientific author, and she's a friend of mine, and she came to the university and did a presentation on her new book. But yeah, Fantastic Fungi is a great film, and
How wonderful.
it's one of the most probably it's probably one of the most influential mushroom films that has garnered so much attention, when usually our type of interests go unnoticed or pushed to the side, right?
Yeah. That's why I'm a forager of natural herbs and medicine and stuff like that. So yeah, 100%. It's the whole holistic thing. You know, people try to shut it down, but it's the reason why the world's gotten this distraught. And again, I'm not saying get rid of any of the modern day technologies that we have, but combining them together is like the old school and the new school. That's what literally I said whenever I was looking at your website. Everything I was reading, I'm like, oh yeah, this is very old school. Like it's the old school way, like getting your hands in the dirt, in the soil, looking at the mushroom, knowing the mushroom, growing, becoming one with the mushroom, and that's how you learn how to be nature. Pops talks about that. He's a big influence to us, inspiration to us. That's what he says: is be giving and be nature. That's how you be nature, is going out there and smelling the air. We talked about this on an episode a few podcasts ago about how just being in nature and breathing in the microbiome, in like breathing the microorganisms into your lungs, increase your dopamine. Like actually being near water and stuff like that increase your dopamine. It just make you happier.
Oh yeah, we don't.
And now you're learning and giving you purpose.
Yep, we don't view the human race as a symbiotic organism, but it is. It's very much
100%.
And it's like, you know, a lot of times we're getting disconnected, I think, and we're targeting when individuals are suffering mental health, physical health. We've gotten into this Western mentality now that has become somewhat toxic, which is essentially whatever the ailment is, let's treat the symptoms, let's not treat the source. And this is what leads to, you know, multi-million-dollar industries that serve pharmaceutical drugs that do not have any efficacy. Even they're just being used, and they're purchased, and they know that there are things that are more beneficial to use. But they're not gonna be able to deny all of that much longer, because the research is showing just things that no one can. I think the door to closing the door on mushrooms, the window to close the door on mushrooms has passed now, where the cat's out of the bag, and it's only going to get wilder from here. And a lot of what I'm getting into teaching now is, and I'm actually hoping to work with Dimitri on figuring out a lot of this, is mycelium-based textiles. So creating aggregates from mycelial webs on mesh. These can be 6 times harder than concrete or any man-made aggregate. It insulates a home 6 times better than any man-made aggregate, and it's fire resistant.
Is this the coffins that they're making mushroom mycelium out of? Is this what you're referring to?
Very similar process, but yeah,
okay, very cool.
It's basically growing aggregates as a means to have a sustainable production of building material.
Very
this
cool.
is what they're looking at for the moon base they're going to be building.
Wow, and it'll just decompose into the ground like sand.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty remarkable process. And you know, Dimitri does a lot of really cool stuff too, like with dyes and stuff.
It shows him on the show.
Yeah,
I actually showed up on his t-shirt from last show.
Yeah, that is so cool. And that is the kind of stuff that people at these mushroom festivals are really, they're all about it. I mean, this is like, you know, and I always think of it as, if it's popular at the mushroom festival, it'll take 2 years before it's popular in the mainstream now. Right?
That's a great point.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I personally think it's really cool that you guys use the 4 agreements as kind of like a poster for discussion, right? Because I think that all 4 of them apply directly to psychedelic transformation. And a lot of times, you know, the mushrooms and the medicine is what makes you realize that you have not been giving your word. You've not been honest with yourself, and you're not doing your best to be kind to yourself. and to respect yourself. You know, we have grown to learn that in our society, if you make a mistake, it's good to smash yourself to bits. It's okay to beat yourself up, and that negative talk is what spirals. And we know it, you know, it'll taint a community, it'll taint a workplace. And so that's why we're trying to get back to the nature. It's this, let's get back to where we have no choice but to say, I'm feeling better from this, because we're actually out there doing it.
Yep, 100%.
Exactly.
I also, like, now is the wave of psychedelics, and to be able to have people like us at the front lines, because I always say this to people, if we just let people get up there, like if we decide, oh, maybe it's not us who are the ones to be able to do it, well, then people who have wrong intentions, are just money hungry, are going to get up there and take the microphone. We need us to be the ones to get up there and start speaking about this stuff, because if we get the front line right now as the wave is starting to curve, we're going to be the ones going through the barrel, and they're going to have to wait for us to finish our wave.
Yeah,
100%.
That's right. And that's how I have a storefront now in Colorado Springs, and that's what it is about. We support mycology companies who are doing this. We're not anti-profits. Right. We believe that in order to help others, you have to be able to sustain yourself. That's just the common principle. This is why we put the mask on the adult before we put it on the baby, right? When you're on an airplane and it's going down, because if you can't get yourself okay, you can't help others. So we definitely appreciate that aspect, but we focus on companies that are in this for more than that, because we don't want to see things go to the cannabis industry. I mean, I left that industry because of that.
Well said. Well said. And that's why I compared this to the other day. You're exactly right. And because it got so tainted, and now it's already too far to be fixed. But now, just like I said, this is the beginning of the wave. So if we fix it, we can stop exactly what happened to cannabis. 100%. Because it shouldn't be the fact that, you're making this plant that should be legal anyway, and now you're making it a commodity. You should just invite it and introduce it into people's lives just like it was before. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be, we talked about this before. People have been using these for centuries. People have been using magic mushrooms spiritually and recreationally and everything in between to, help heal themselves.
We're at a point, I think, where a lot of those early, a lot of the early people, they're falling off because they were in it for the wrong reasons. And I think, and Chris has seen this too. We've encountered a lot of people over these past couple years that are no longer around just because I don't think that they had the right intentions. They just thought it was going to be an easy dollar, and that's right. Not what this is. This is not at all.
I think that is so important, like what you're highlighting right there. And that is why, like, I tell my people in my circle, I say, look, we are not just community leaders. We're not just people who are trying to look out for those who have been left behind or who have been alone and trying to get it on their own. But more importantly, we're guardians of the psychedelic renaissance. If we keep doing what we did with cannabis, and then, like you said, people keep coming in the industry for a cash grab, we're going to poison what this is all about and what it means. So that's why, like, it is so important to me that people understand. And I tell everybody, even my customers, I say, look, I'm here to help you grow your own psychedelic medicine, your own food or medicinal mushrooms. And while I do charge for my products, everyone knows if you come into my store and you say, Chris, I cannot afford a product, I need to grow mushrooms, I need mushrooms, I facilitate that. That is not even something that inherently I always am going to facilitate that, because I know how powerful these mushrooms are and what they can truly do for someone. It's the difference bearing someone early in some cases and not. Right? It can be that.
Yeah. Instead of holding it like a power over somebody's head, you're holding it as a gift to give someone to be able to choose to enlighten themselves.
Yes.
100%.
And I have.
You don't hold the magic wand to say, hey, I make you enlightened. You say, here, do you want this? And if you choose it, it could enlighten you if you let it.
Yes. 100%. To work with it. Yeah. And that's exactly right. Like, that's my main philosophy is just like, we need to get the mushrooms in the people's hands, get the education out there, and the money will come. and it'll come the right way. And I'm confident in this more than ever because I'm seeing it work with my businesses. I mean, I have used this approach from day one. People over profits. Got to get back to that shit. I mean, it's what we have gotten to.
It is embarrassing.
Market. Yeah, it's embarrassing. But yeah, no, it's got to be people over profits because we can't sustain profits over people anymore.
Yep, absolutely.
That's very well said.
I think a lot of people that fall off, that like you know, they were in it for the wrong reason. But if they're taking the mushrooms, you know, it's changed all of us in so many different ways. So if you're not in it with your heart, you're just in it thinking you're gonna make $1, you know, and then, you know, that afterglow, you know, you're gonna feel it and you're gonna be like, man, I'm not doing the right thing. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people is, you know, they experience that and then they move on to the next quick buck because the mushroom showed them this ain't for you. You know, you're not in it for the right reason.
Right.
Yeah, it's like he was saying, the mushroom will tell you you're being impeccable, you're taking things personally. You're okay. Chris, I want to ask you, you're familiar with the allegory of the cave, correct?
I'm sorry?
Are you familiar with the allegory of the cave?
A bit. Probably have to.
All right, so we talk about this a lot. It's actually the introduction to the Four Agreements that we talk in the reading of the Four Agreements. So
okay.
It talks about how, you know, life is basically we're sitting in a cave and we're being shown shadows on a wall, and we're seeing these shadows, and it's presented to us as life, right? And what you're talking about is the people who are money hungry are the people that are showing the shadows, and what you're referring to, people like us, or what I like to call idiots, are the people that are going. They've already been out of the cave, and they're realizing, oh, we have to go back down there and save these people. We have to do it each time, though. We have to go through the journey of walking by these people of the temptations and stuff like that, right? Of, oh, I got $1 million. Is that good for you? And you have to go, no. I'm just here to save people. And you have to get them and then get out, knowing that will bring you. We talked about this the other day. Gratitude equals abundance, not money. Yeah. You can have all the money in the world and not be happy, 100%.
And you can make all the money in the world, and your business is still considered, in my eyes, a failure if you're putting that money over doing what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, and there's
you're not doing a consistent job, you're not doing safety and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues right now in the new mycology industry, you know, just unethical vendors who are vending mushroom cultures that are copies of copies, and senescence is just like flooding the market.
God knows what. Yeah, 100%.
And
you said it. It's the same thing that happened with the cannabis industry, 100%. It's the reason why, you know, I always say this, the worst thing that can happen to a good weed strain is it becomes popular.
Yeah.
Because then everybody does exactly what you said, ruin the genetics of it, and then they push out a bunch of good weed. Oh, I tried gelato, I didn't like it. It's like, yeah, because you're getting a washed down version of it.
Yep.
Somebody's saying, oh, I like cannabis mushrooms.
Yeah, I grew 4 different Northern Lights, and they were all wildly different. They were from 4 different seed breeders. And all 4 plants, they were, you wouldn't have guessed they were all the same, and they didn't taste the same.
They are.
That was just one
variety,
but yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like
apples like that.
A lot of the strains that are coming out now too is the hybrids. I'm all for it, but a lot of times too, it's like, you know, we don't need to go hyper potent. You know, we don't have to. This is another part of the cannabis industry that we hope to steer away from. I'm not saying there's no value in working genetics to achieve a high psilocybin or tryptamine or alkaloid content. That's good. That's okay. I guess I'm just saying that it's important that we have these land races. It's important that they stay important because now we have people putting fertilizers in their substrate. So here we go. Taking something that is flawless in itself, and we are destroying it because we're in it for the wrong reasons, right? We're doing it for the wrong reasons. And
the money and the fame.
Yep. And I mean, look, putting fertilizers in your grow, people will argue it's okay. People will argue it is not. What I would argue is that we don't need to do it.
Yeah.
So why?
And not only that, we don't know the ramifications of it. So yeah, why take the risk? 100%.
All we need, if you're looking for more nutrition for a dung-loving species, is just that, dung. That is that, and some other different things, such like in Masters makes soy hulls because they're loaded with nitrogen, any of these things are better in my eyes than putting in some Miracle Grow with high NPK or some of the other wild stuff people are doing.
I actually think this is the root of the problem for a lot of these people. A lot of these beginners are failing because they're chasing the biggest, the most potent. I'm like, you don't need the biggest, most potent. You just need to grow some mushrooms and you're good.
Yes,
that's all you need, and you don't need. And everybody keeps thinking that they need to take 5 grams or more, and I'm like, no, just take just enough. Like,
that's exactly what I tell people. I say, look, I said there 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the common understanding was you needed to take 1/8 of mushrooms to achieve maximum satisfaction from it. That is not the case. I tell my customers, I say, look, anything below 1 gram, I consider imperceptible. Now, from 0.5 up to 1 gram, that is negotiable, depending on how you understand as perceptible. For me, if I take 0.8, it is not a fully perceptible dose, but it is perceptible, right? Anything above 0.5 is where you start to feel the effects, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But really, I tell people the 1 gram threshold, that is where you start, and you increase up to 2 grams, and you try to stay right where you need to be. You don't need to go take more, because at a certain point, now you're just wasting mushrooms, 1, and 2, you're putting yourself at risk.
Yes, exactly. That's the biggest thing we talk about with harm reduction. Honestly, I don't even use the word gram in my harm reduction talks, because I think that people should just microdose in a pill and then take it. Even if you're macrodosing, you should just take pill and then see how you feel and then keep taking more, even if you know your tolerance. Because what happens is people, the worst thing you can be as an amateur, and you think you're educated about mushrooms. Oh, I've taken mushrooms plenty of times and I've ate 2 or 3 grams and it's fine, until all of a sudden now you get pancyans and now you eat 2 or 3 grams and now you're floating around space and you don't even know how to freaking collect yourself back together. 100%.
Yep.
Can I ask you real fast? Do you consume cannabis?
I'm sorry?
Do you consume cannabis? Are you a cannabis user?
Yes. Yeah. Am I allowed to consume cannabis?
Okay, well, I was just asking if you do, like if you personally use it, because I do. I'm about to. Yeah, so I want to explain to you this study there. I was kind of talk about, the synergy of these things. Like, just increasing the potency of a mushroom doesn't necessarily make it better. Because there was this documentary where this girl had never used marijuana, and she went into a facility and was injected with marijuana. The first night, it was a full spectrum cannabis. It had THC, CBD, all the extra terpenes and cannabinoids. It was full spectrum. She was injected with it, and she was asked a bunch of questions about how she felt, and she was laughing and just saying, "Oh, I feel so wonderful," and blah blah blah. She just felt great, like what people usually describe as a marijuana high. The next night, she was given pure THC injection. So it was just straight THC isolate, and it totally gave her the opposite effect. Paranoia, all the bad things you hear about with weed when people go, "Oh, I don't like weed because it makes me paranoid and stressed out and like I'm just panicky. I don't know what's going on. I feel like impending doom is
impending doom." Dabs and these extracts. Like, I smoke flower. Right. You might catch me vaping a distillate every once in a while, but I am primarily a flower guy, and I prefer outdoor flower that has been like grown by someone I know or myself.
Full spectrum.
Because I worked in the industry, and I can tell you that the amount of nutrients that are being pushed through these pots, and then the amount of corner cutting when it comes to flush those nutrients out prior to harvesting, it's pretty much non-existent. We pretend that it's happening, but it's really not. And
it's sickening because you're poisoning people under the guise of, it's just marijuana, it should be good for you, right? But you're literally poisoning people. 100%.
Yeah.
There's this guy, he actually went and picked up some weed carts that were supposed to be real from the street, and they were all tested for pesticides.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I did. That's what I did. I did grow consultations when I first came out here to Colorado. I started a cannabis consultation company, and it did good. I mean, I consulted on a lot of grows. Most of the grows were in the gray market, right? So not necessarily fully licensed grows. But these grows, I would see people, asking me, "Chris, can I bomb in here for these aphids?" And I said, no, you got flowers on these plants. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, and they.
You didn't even have to do that. You could have let them do that and got away with it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at with the nutrients, and that's why I'm like, nope, we don't need to make these things more concentrated than they are. They're good. We can make extracts if we need to do that. We don't need to start facilitating different ways of making something unnatural that's natural.
This is good stuff. I mean, I like you, Chris. We talked a little bit about symbiosis with mushrooms. It's something that we want to talk about on the show. Maybe we can get you back on in a couple of weeks to talk some more about that, about the symbiosis of mushrooms and, you know, as far as our society and our economy and with nature too, as well, with plants and animals. So yeah, maybe we get you on and do a whole episode about that. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, I would love to. And let me know, because I will absolutely put it in my calendar and be here right when you guys start.
Perfect, man.
Sweet. And yeah, no, I think that'd be great. We talk about a lot too about, you know, I just creating a keynote presentation for an event coming up in Colorado Springs, the veterans one that we had part of, Dimitri.
Okay.
Basically, and you guys are welcome to come. But it's a veteran focused event, and there's going to be a lot of important people from the city there and from the veterans facility here called Mount Carmel. And that's important because this is what we want. We want to get these community forward mycology organizations like the Myco League, the Colorado Myco League, like Operation CAPS, in front of the people who need to hear that this is no longer just hippies playing around at a Phish concert. This is real.
Love it. I love it, man. We need more people like you, and I like your message. I like what you're saying. I like what you stand for. It's been a great episode, man. We're gonna get you back in here. I like what you stand for, man. We're gonna put your website in the description. You guys go check them out. Sorry, one more time. The name of the company. I keep forgetting.
Absolutely.
I'm ADD, dude.
Check out OperationCAPS.org.
Yeah.
And if you know a veteran, if you are personally suffering, or someone you love or know is suffering with mental health issues, with loneliness, with depression, with physical health issues, please go to OperationCAPS.org. Contact us. We also have social media on Instagram, Operation CAPS. And you can also find us at Colonizing Colorado. We have a storefront in Colorado Springs. But we will enroll you into the program. And as I said, we are dedicated to making this accessible to all, regardless of their financial background. So don't hesitate to reach out and let us help you help yourself.
Sweet. Awesome. You guys go check them out. It's been a great show.
Very awesome.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. It's been great. I feel like you took a lot of the words out of my mouth, which is the kind of guest that we need on the show, where you kind of took in brains and spoke. I mean, a lot of the things you talk about are things that each three of us have spoken about on the show before. Look, we really have to get back to the holistic kind of medicines, the way these medicines have been used for thousands of years. Any modern medicine only has a few hundred years, if it's lucky, of like research and practice on human lives for the risk and rewards. And if you or anyone you know has used blah 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 blah, never happened with mushrooms. So we have to start spreading the information, and the not the information, but as far as like what the mushrooms are and what they do, but how to do it safely and how to do it positively, and use the 4 agreements to push your enlightenment along in a farther positive direction. You're getting some great comments in here. Everybody's saying that you had a great talk, man. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Sorry, go ahead.
Chat. No, I just wanted to see the chat.
Yeah, you can check everybody out. Yeah. Yeah, it's been such a great show.
Yeah. I really appreciate.
You got anything else going on? Go ahead, man. Yeah, you go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, let's I don't know if you guys have ever explored doing a episode where we do grow questions and we do a grow demo.
We do a little bit of that.
We would
for sure. We could
help, and
if you want to put some hands on some actual equipment and stuff like that in front of a camera, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe we could even we can later on. We're trying to get we're trying to build up our Discord right now. We've already got a bunch of people over there, but maybe later on in the future we'll even drag you over there to do some live appearances on our Discord and show people how to do some mycology stuff. Yeah, that'd be really nice. That's definitely the kind of stuff we do. During every show, at the end of the show, we'll be asking people about mycology questions. Hey, if you guys have any questions, just ask.
That's great. So, yeah. Because you know what? We need something like this. We need something.
100%.
People want to be able to get the info they need. But I really do want you guys to consider that. And any of your listening. Someone said nice drum kit. Right on. Yeah. Thanks.
I like the tats too, by the way.
Thank you guys for the nice comments. But if you guys want to do some sort of a grow along like that, please, any of your listeners who are interested, get them to let us know. Let's get a number and let's let Operation Caps facilitate some grow bags so we could do a grow along.
Sweet, that would be really awesome, man. Yep. We'll be in touch with that.
If you guys are cool with it, I can post your Discord in my Discord if you like. Or
I would love that.
Michael,
I would love that. Actually. Yeah, do that and drop the website too for us if you don't mind, man. We'll share each other's stuff. We'll try to build this community. Like I said, we're the ones going through the barrel of this wave right now. When we come out, they're going to be taking pictures of us. We're going to be the ones handing out flowers to people in the crowd, 100%.
Yep, that's
and rather than let somebody who's narcissistic and manipulative do it. I just can't stand for it no longer. Because it's what you said with the cannabis community, not just cannabis community, the alcohol community as well. It happened with so many organizations where drugs are involved. We can't let them get corrupt. We have to push positivity and respect and education behind it.
Absolutely, we really do. And I'm all about that. So anybody in the stream right now, if you are in Colorado Springs, come by on Platte Avenue. We have a store. Come in, get a mycology or a cultivation lesson, get a psychedelic gift, and just come meet other people. We're going to be doing mushroom or myco meetups once a week at the shop to talk shop and trade genetics, and we'll have Dimitri out to do some classes here soon, and then foraging, baby. I can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Starting to warm up soon. Derek, you got anything else, my man?
No, I love everything you do, and I'm wishing you the most success. I'm loving everything you're doing. It sounds like you're going to be helping a lot of people, and that's really great.
I appreciate that. And it's been the encouragement from people like you guys who have brought me on their podcasts, who have supported me, Dimitri. I mean, I cannot speak well enough of this guy. He's doing so much for the mycology community. In 15 years, we're going to look back and Dimitri is going to be viewed as founding fathers of this shit, because there was
not kidding
like the Colorado Myco League until the Colorado Myco League. And now there's the Pikes Peak Myco League. And this is what's going to happen. It's going to spread like wildfire. So let's do it.
I always talk about how our ancestors were the ones to cut down the trees to make the path before people after them came along and put stones on the ground, before people like Pops came and paved the road and Nerdy so we could build cars and ride down that thing back and forth at 200 miles an hour. And that's the beauty of the world of psychedelics right now is the time. Like it's the beginning of that.
Oh, yeah, we're at the precipice here. This is about to be.
Hey, I'm glad to grab the torch and run, honestly. Yep. I'm 28, so I'm a little younger than you guys. I'm glad to be the one to be able to take this message and run with it. You guys like Terrence and Ram Dass and on, Paul State. I guess name so many people who were inspirations way before us that paved the roads for us to be able to get on here and drive cars down it before we can put rockets on them. They send our kids all on. 100%.
It is way past.
Are you guys doing this every weekend?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Fridays is when we're doing our guests.
Oh, very cool. Definitely. So Monday, Wednesday, I can catch the show as well then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 9 p.m. EST.
7 our time.
Correct.
Very cool. Maybe you guys can do a freaking foraging episode.
Absolutely. And as soon as the Colorado Myco League gets 50 subscribers, we can start doing stuff on there for the mushroom stuff. I'd also like to point out that it's way past Derek's bedtime.
Yep. Yeah. No, we're good. If you want me to share your guys' link on my Discord, I can do it. It's up to you guys. If you are trying to get more people in there.
Yeah, please do.
Cool. We'll do. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
I love what you're doing, man. hey, you don't need us to tell you to keep doing it because you already got it. You already figured it out. That's how Kobe like that it's because you either have it or you don't. And if you don't know what I'm saying, then you don't know it. But you know what I'm saying. Like, you don't need us to tell you, hey, you're doing a good job to keep doing what you're doing. But just like I was saying, like, it feels good when people are like, yo, you're doing good. So keep it up, man.
It does.
We're right behind you.
Absolutely does. Because
cool.
let me tell you what, the hard work it takes, like what Dimitri does, what I do,
man.
It's nonstop. And it
is.
It's taxing.
It's inspiring, honestly. It's like, how you have that much time? Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
But worth it.
You're inspirational, dude. Cool. Great work, man. We'll get you on here again, and we're going to talk a little bit more about mushrooms and how they affect the world around us. So cool. We'll be in touch, buddy. Yeah, spread the Discord for us if you don't mind, and we're going to spread your information and stuff as well. Y'all go check his website out. Great guy. You heard it straight from his mouth rather than somebody you don't know.
You'll be
buy the equipment that you.
Thanks.
Yeah, 100%. Buy the equipment from the guy you just heard. So bye, everyone, and y'all have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.
All right. Before we go, I'd like to pull up the like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this discussion, please like and subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. We need you guys to be here when we're live. And thank you so much for coming, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Have a great week.